Okay, welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain. Many of the stories read here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. Here's the news stories from the day from the Associated Press and other Native American news sources. A defense lawyer for one of two men charged with the 1975 slaying of AIM member Anna Mae Aquash has accused prosecutors of putting erroneous and untrue accusations in a court filing because they allege the murder weapon was locked up at the time. John Graham and Richard Marshall have pled not guilty to charges they committed or aided and abetted the December 12, 1975 murder of Aquash on the Pine Ridge Reservation. They are now scheduled to stand trial starting May 12th in Rapid City, South Dakota. At the time, Marshall was awaiting trial for killing Martin Montalou on March 1st, 1975, a crime for which he was later convicted. Prosecutors during March asked the judge to allow evidence that the .32 caliber pistol used to kill Aquash could have been the same one seized when Marshall was arrested for the Montalou murder and given back to him on June 1st, 1975, according to prosecutors' documents. But Marshall's attorney, Dana Hanna, responded that his client couldn't have had the gun when Aquash was killed because it was placed in police custody in March of 1975 and offered as evidence at the April 1976 trial in which Marshall was convicted of killing Montalou. South Dakota Highway Patrolman Merlin Meyer said he found the .32 caliber revolver under the right front seat of Montalou's car. 4 other guns were also seized from the car, including a .22 caliber pistol which had been used to kill Montalou. Hanna argued that the .32 caliber pistol was never directly tied to Marshall. A businessman charged with tax fraud in Galena, Kansas will get to keep his private jet for the time being. A federal judge has allowed Gary Hall of Joplin, Missouri to hold on to the Hawker Beechcraft jet after Hall's business partner agreed to post property he owns in Missouri and Arkansas to cover the jet's $5 million value. Hall is scheduled to go on trial on April 13th of next year on a 43-count federal indictment. He is president and owner of Galena, Kansas-based Sunflower Supply Company. He and several other people and 3 businesses face a 43-count federal indictment alleging multiple counts of mail fraud, wire fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Prosecutors claim the group committed $25 million in tobacco tax fraud against Oklahoma and American Indian tribes in the state. Glendale, Arizona is now in open opposition to a proposed tribal casino near the city's sports and entertainment district. The city council is expected to formally approve a resolution of opposition at a meeting during April. The conversation narrowed down to whether a casino is good or bad, and some think they're wonderful and some think they're awful. Mayor Elaine Scruggs said there would be a sovereign nation in what basically is the city of Glendale, surrounded by Glendale land, she said. Several other Arizona tribes came forward in recent weeks to oppose the plan by the Tohono O'odham Nation, saying it would expand gaming in a way not intended in agreements with the state. Chairman Ned Norris Jr. said that he would work in good faith with Glendale if they wanted the casino. The tribe in late January surprised city leaders with an application to have the federal government take 134 tribally owned acres into trust as reservation land, paving the way for a 600-room resort and casino. The tribe's economic study called the $500 million project a boon for the area, but a Glendale study came up with more costs than benefits. A plan to address water quality in the Lake Coeur d'Alene watershed has been completed and turned over to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. The action, March 25th, is a formality, officials said, because the federal agency worked with the state and Coeur d'Alene tribe on the draft document that included public comment. The next step is to get the money to pay for the projects in the Coeur d'Alene Lake Management Plan intended to deal with a century's worth of mine pollution that has contaminated 83 million tons of mud at the bottom of the North Idaho Lake, as well as look at ways to control nutrients entering into that lake. This is an important day for the Coeur d'Alene tribe, Tribal Chairman Chief Allen said. Our ancestors who fought to protect the lake are looking down on us right now, pleased with the effort we are making to preserve and enhance the lake for generations to come. On July 17th, the elders of Greenland are lighting a sacred fire in their homeland as a fulfillment of an ancient prophecy that said one day when the world needs it most, the sacred fire will once again return to Greenland. Ashes from around the globe will be placed in the sacred fire in Greenland as part of the Fire and Ice Ceremony, a global event that merges spirit with leading science to find new solutions to a warming climate. You are invited within your community to send them ashes from a sacred fire, thereby uniting with them to bring a strong Indigenous voice to the climate change debate. Carefully wrap a small handful of your fire ashes in natural fiber cloth or a small wood or bark container with contact information and send it to them. You'll be able to find more information on the Fire and Ice 2009 event and how to do that at fireandice2009.com. With Rolanda Jumbo's 9th place finish at the U.S. Cross Country Championships while representing Wings of America, she qualified to be a member of Junior Team USA to run at the North America, Central America, and Caribbean Athletic Association Cross Country Championships at Chain of Lakes Park in Orlando, Florida during March. With the weather at 85 degrees and humid, the course was grassy with little hills, and since Rolanda of the Navajo Nation was used to Arizona cross-country courses, those race conditions were the opposite. Under the coaching expertise of Sean Martin, they knew she had to go out fast while maintaining a near all-out effort in order to be in contact with the front runners at the end of the race. Her finishing time was 13 minutes and 46 seconds for a 2.5-mile course. Her average mile was 5 minutes and 31 seconds. Lorraine Roy, White Earth Ojibwe and professor at the University of Texas, Austin, and past president of the American Library Association, will be speaking about current events in Indigenous librarianship. That's going to be coming up next month on April 22nd at the SLIS Commons on the 4th floor of the Helen C. White Hall at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. That event is free and open to the public, and for more information you can call 612-263-2900 or email ojpolar@yahoo.com. More than 1,000 school children from rural New Mexico raced, danced, listened, and tasted their way through Eagle Books health fairs held in their communities recently. The health fairs were developed around the Eagle Book series and taught students from Native communities that healthy food choices, regular physical activity, and traditional ways can help prevent type 2 diabetes. In a school gymnasium in Zuni Pueblo, a Head Start teacher read Eagle Book stories to children in the tribe's native language, and older students participated in cup stacking races. At Santo Domingo Pueblo, children tasted pancakes made from traditional blue corn. In the Rama Navajo community, children learned the difference between everyday and sometimes foods and measured the amount of sugar in soda and sweet cereal. In Cochiti, children planted vegetable seeds which will be nurtured in a greenhouse until the seedlings are ready to plant. Then the children will help care for them over this summer. The fairs on March 5th and 6th of this month were coordinated by tribal health personnel, local schools, and the Native Diabetes Wellness Program of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank our underwriters for helping with this broadcast and you for joining with us today. Miigwech.